So, are you worried about AI taking your job sometime soon? By 2030? Honestly, you probably should be. But there's a way to not just get through this AI revolution, but to actually thrive in it. And that's what we're going to get into today. The future-proof skills that AI just can't touch. The stuff that'll keep you ahead of the game. All right, let's dive in.
Okay, so this is it, right? The big question on everyone's mind. Is AI coming for my job? Well, the answer? It's a little complicated. See, the real question isn't if AI is going to impact your job, it's how. Let's just start with a number that's fueling all this anxiety, shall we? According to the World Economic Forum, by 2030, technology is expected to displace, get this, a staggering 92 million jobs globally. Yeah, just let that sink in for a second. But, and this is a huge but, here's the twist. That very same report, it also projects that AI is going to create 170 million new jobs. You do the math, that's a net gain of 78 million jobs. So you see, this isn't a story about extinction, it's a story about evolution. And that brings us to our first really big idea here. We are smack in the middle of what you could call the great job transformation. The conversation we really need to be having isn't about mass unemployment. It's about a massive, fundamental shift in the kind of work we all do, and the skills we're going to need to do it.
So let's get this straight. The core idea is this. AI isn't coming to take all the jobs. It's coming to transform them. Yeah, it's going to automate certain tasks, for sure. But in doing that, it actually creates new roles. And, more importantly, it makes the tasks that only humans can do even more valuable.
This quote just nails it. In the past, right, with other industrial revolutions, automation mostly hit manual, blue-collar jobs. But as the author Jerry Kaplan says, this time is different. AI can now handle routine, cognitive tasks, the kind of stuff that knowledge workers do in offices every single day. So, yeah, no one is exempt from this. Okay, so if AI is taking over all the routine stuff, what's left for us? Where do we fit in? Well, the answer lies in something AI just fundamentally lacks, and that is empathy. Check this out. A recent report from Workday found something they're calling the empathy gap. They discovered that 82%, that's a huge number, 82% of employees say they're going to crave more human connection at work as AI gets more common. I mean, think about that for a minute. The more automated our work gets, the more we actually need each other. And that right there, that's the great paradox of AI. When you automate all the tedious stuff, the data crunching, the scheduling, pulling reports, it doesn't just free up our time. It actually creates a kind of void. A space that can only be filled by things like collaboration, mentorship, and just real human connection. So let's draw a really clear line here. On one side, you've got AI's strengths, processing insane amounts of data, finding patterns, and doing repetitive tasks at lightning speed. But on the other side, you've got our strengths, creativity, ethical judgment, complex communication. Look, an AI can optimize a workflow, no doubt, but it can't inspire a team. It can't navigate a tricky negotiation or, offer a shoulder to cry on. That's where we shine.
So this all leads us to the solution. How do you actually thrive in this new world? Well, it's by developing what we're calling your human plus skill set. And this isn't about being anti-technology, not at all. It's about integrating your uniquely human abilities with it.
So what is a human plus skill set? Basically, it's combining what makes us unique, emotional intelligence, judgment, creativity, with a technical fluency to use technology as a powerful tool. Think of it like AI plus EQ, or programming plus ethics. It's that combination, that synthesis that makes you truly irreplaceable. And guess what? Employers are already screaming for these skills. An analysis of millions of job postings found that the most in-demand human skills are things like leadership, communication, complex problem solving, and research. These aren't soft skills anymore. These are the power skills of the future. Okay, now this is fascinating.
This chart shows that while STEM majors often have higher starting salaries, we all know that, it's actually the liberal arts graduates who see the fastest income growth later in their careers. And you have to ask why. Well, it's because as they move up into leadership roles, their mastery of communication, critical thinking, and just navigating complex social dynamics becomes a massive, massive economic advantage.
Okay, so knowing all of this is one thing, but actually putting it into practice, that's what really matters. So this brings us to a simple, concrete plan to actively build your human plus advantage. And here it is, the both-and strategy. It's so simple, it's brilliant. First, you have to develop tech fluency. You've got to understand the tools. Second, you have to intentionally amplify your core human skills, the stuff AI can't touch. It's not one or the other, you have to do both. This is what's going to set you apart. So let's break down what each of these really means.
Let's be super clear about step one. Developing tech fluency does not mean everyone has to go become a software engineer. For most of us, it's about getting a solid conceptual understanding. You can start small. Spend 30 minutes a week just messing around with a new AI tool. Follow a few AI researchers on social media. The goal here is to be an educated user and a good collaborator with technology, not necessarily the person who builds it.
Take large language models, or LLMs, for example. You don't need to know the code behind them, but just understanding the core concept, that they're basically just sophisticated prediction machines trained to figure out the next best word in a sentence, that gives you the fluency to think critically. You can start asking the right questions, like, how can this help me write emails faster? Or where might it just make stuff up? That basic grasp of the concept is tech fluency. And this is where it all clicks together. This is how the two parts of the action plan feed each other. As you get comfortable enough with the tech to hand off the routine stuff to AI, it frees up your time and your brain power to focus on step two. The more the machine handles the what, the more your value comes from the how and the why. And that's all driven by communication, leadership, and that uniquely human judgment.
So, the big question is, how do you build this advantage for yourself? Well, it's time to create your own personal, AI-proof playbook.
All right, your playbook has 3 key moves. It's pretty simple. First, commit to being a lifelong learner. In a world that's changing this fast, the only way to stay ahead is to just keep learning, adapting, and evolving your skills. Second, build a hybrid skill set. Don't be scared of AI. Learn how to use it as a tool to make your human abilities even stronger. And third, and this is maybe the most important, master the art of human connection. In a world that's getting more and more automated, things like empathy, leadership, and collaboration, those are your superpowers.
Let this be your guiding principle, your North Star. You are never, ever going to outcalculate a supercomputer. Trying to compete with AI on its own turf is a losing game. The winning strategy is to focus all your energy on developing the skills that AI simply cannot replicate.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. The rise of AI, it isn't a threat to our humanity. It's actually an invitation to rediscover it. It's a chance to finally automate the mundane stuff so we can focus on what truly makes us human. So the real question is, how are you going to answer that invitation?